Hello there. In the previous video, we started explaining how the DX system works from the heat transfer point of view. The link to the previous video is given below in the description. Here, we will continue from the other perspective, the thermodynamics approach. In order for the DX system to be capable of transferring heat, the refrigerant has to go through a loop of phase changes, from liquid to gas and from gas to liquid at alternatively high and low pressures. This closed system cycle starts at the compressor where the refrigerant enters as low-pressure gas. According to Gay-Lussac's law, as pressure increases, the refrigerant gas temperature will increase, boiling, resulting in a high-pressure gas at the exit of the compressor. This gas reaches the condenser where the heat exchange takes place, with a relatively lower temperature atmosphere to release or reject heat. In cooling mode, the condenser is usually releasing heat to the outside environment, considered as the heat sink. As heat is released, temperature drops and high-pressure gas turns into liquid, to reach the expansion valve, where the pressure is moderately lowered to exit the valve, as low-temperature or low-pressure liquid. The expansion valve plays an important role in maintaining the balance between the high and the low-pressure sides of the cycle. Being fed to the evaporator, the liquid refrigerant exchanges and absorbs heat from the hot room air, leaving the room with cooler ambience. Here the refrigerant evaporates and the low-temperature or low-pressure vapor travels back to the compressor to go through the same loop over and over again. In heating mode, the role of each component stays the same. However, only the heat exchanger locations are shifted, so that the condenser will reject heat indoors and the evaporator will absorb heat from the outside. The phase changes happening in both heat exchangers as evaporation and condensation, at specified temperatures and pressures, can only be achieved with specific refrigerant types, in terms of chemical formula and characteristics. This topic about refrigerants will be covered in the upcoming videos of our Academy. While the major role of the compressor is to pressurize the system and the expansion valve acts as a throttling device, the condenser and evaporator permits heat exchange between the refrigerant and air. During cooling, and at the level of the condenser placed outdoors, the high-pressure, high-temperature refrigerant circulating inside the coils gets in contact with the outside environment. The difference in temperature between both mediums permits the release of heat from the higher to the lower temperature zone. And thus, heat is rejected from the refrigerant to the outer environment. This heat is known as the latent of condensation heat. The phase change of refrigerant from gas to liquid occurs during the condensation process. Working oppositely, the evaporator placed indoors circulates low-pressure, low-temperature liquid refrigerant in its coils. As this liquid gets in contact with the high-temperature air inside the area, heat is exchanged and absorbed by the liquid refrigerant. This heat absorption allows the refrigerant liquid to change into gas through evaporation process. This process includes latent heat evaporation that enables the phase change of refrigerant from liquid to gas. Unlike the latent heat that includes the phase change at the same temperature, the sensible heat, provided in the compressor due to pressure change, is a noticeable increase in temperature without any phase change. And by this, we come to the end of our session. In the upcoming video, we will elaborate more on each component separately, discussing its types, working principle, and much more. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel to stay updated with our latest videos.